Welcome to the channel, friends. In this video today, we'll look at 3 banned American cars that automakers don't want you to remember. Not all American cars have become a success story. Some of them were so dangerous, so poorly assembled, or so problematic that they were eventually banned, recalled, or simply erased from history. Before watching, support the channel by subscribing and liking. Share this video with your friends. Leave comments. We'll be happy to answer and discuss cars together. And don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss the next episodes. Thank you. Number 3.1948 Tucker 48. Why it was effectively removed from the roads. The 1948 Tucker 48 was not banned because it was unsafe or poorly built. It was a car that introduced groundbreaking safety features at a time when the industry wasn't ready. However, the Tucker 48 was effectively shut down through a combination of government investigations, financial pressure, and a system that ultimately blocked its survival. Why the Tucker 48 was effectively banned? The Tucker 48 introduced features that were far ahead of their time. Pop-out windshield to reduce injury in a crash. Third swiveling headlight for better visibility when turning, reinforced passenger safety cells, seat belts, and padded dashboard when almost no other cars had them. These innovations directly challenged the large automakers who dominated the market. While the car itself was not banned by law, what happened around it made it disappear from the market. And for decades, the industry seemed to prefer it forgotten. Here's what happened. Preston Tucker raised funds in a way that drew the attention of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. The SEC launched an investigation into Tucker's business practices, which created public doubt and scared away investors. Although Tucker was eventually found not guilty of any fraud, the process collapsed his company before it could properly launch. The practical result? The Tucker 48 was gone. Only 51 units were ever built. The car was not banned by safety regulations, but through legal, financial, and competitive pressure, it was effectively erased from the new car market. Why automakers don't want you to remember the Tucker story is uncomfortable for the American auto industry because it shows how external pressure, politics, and corporate influence can stop an innovative product, even if the product is good. Today, the Tucker 48 is a rare collector's car and a symbol of suppressed innovation. It's not banned from roads today, but its production was halted in a way that almost ensured it would be forgotten. In that sense, it's one of the few American cars that was quietly erased, not by defects, but by forces that didn't want it to succeed. Number 2, 1949. Cadillac Series 61 Sedanette. A true American milestone is more than just a beautiful post-war car. It marks a turning point in American automotive history. This was the year Cadillac introduced something that would forever change the performance and luxury landscape: the legendary 331 cubic inch overhead valve V8 engine. While the Sedanette is not a banned car in the traditional sense, it is often overlooked when we talk about the most important cars of the era. Let's explore why this car is so significant and why it's quietly disappeared from everyday conversation. The game-changing V8. What made the 1949 Cadillac Series 61 Sedanette special wasn't just its fastback styling, it was what sat under the hood. Cadillac's new 331 V8 engine was lighter, more powerful, and far more efficient than the old flathead engines. It produced 160 horsepower, which was a big number for the time, especially in a streamlined fastback body. This engine didn't just power the Sedanette, it set the standard for American 5.8s throughout the 1950s and influenced muscle car engineering decades later. It's often called the blueprint for the modern 5.8. Iconic fastback design, the Sedanette's sloping rear roofline, gave it a sporty, aerodynamic look that stood out from other luxury sedans. It was the perfect blend of elegance and speed, a big car that looked fast even when parked. This unique body style, sometimes called a torpedo back, became a favorite among collectors, but quietly disappeared from Cadillac's mainstream lineup by the early 1950s as tail fins and boxier designs took over. Why it's forgotten. Today, the Sedanette isn't banned or erased, but it's part of a group of cars that faded from public memory as flashier designs took center stage. The later Cadillac Eldorados and DeVilles of the 50s grabbed the spotlight, and the Sedanette's more subtle style was left behind. Yet this car remains a hidden treasure for those who understand its importance. It quietly introduced the V8 era that reshaped American performance. Number 1. 1947 Studebaker Champion Starlight Coupe. The car that looked into the future. The 1947 Studebaker Champion Starlight Coupe is one of the most striking and forward-thinking American cars of its time. It didn't just roll off the assembly line. It made a statement. After World War II, most automakers rushed out slightly updated pre-war designs, but Studebaker took a different path. They built something new, something bold, and something no one had seen before. A design that shocked America. The most famous feature of the Starlight Coupe was its wraparound rear window, a full panoramic glass design that curved almost 180 degrees around the back of the car. At the time, people weren't sure what to make of it. Some loved the futuristic look, while others joked that you couldn't tell if the car was coming or going. But whether you liked it or not, you couldn't ignore it. The Starlight Coupe broke away from the typical sedan shape and became one of the first truly post-war designs that didn't rely on pre-war styling cues. In fact, it set Studebaker apart from Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler almost instantly. Engineering for everyday Americans. Underneath the dramatic styling, the Studebaker Champion was built to be affordable, practical, and fuel-efficient. It came with a 6-cylinder engine that wasn't overly powerful, but it was reliable and perfectly suited for the American family of the late 1940s. Studebaker's focus on lightweight construction and reasonable pricing made the Champion one of the more popular cars of its day. It was not a luxury car or a speed demon. It was a smart, forward-thinking vehicle for the average driver.